Hi everyone, my name is Hila. I'm a senior DevOps engineer. I've recently joined Wix, and I'm a thank you. And I am a graduate of OpsCo, which was mentioned here on several occasions. So, I'm here to talk to you about how to choose an open source project. So, if you're here basically using open source projects or about to, but you know the ropes of it, so I'm not going to drill down to when to use it, so let's move on. So, okay, we've decided to use an open source project. Great. You Googled your use case. You've found 1, 2, 3 options to use. Now, how do you know that these options are good enough to use on its own? What are the questions that you should ask yourself in order to know if this project is good or not? So, you need to focus on several pillars: popularity, activity, ecosystem, ease of use, documentation, readiness, and also the roadmap. So, for popularity, you should look about the number of GitHub stars, because 400 versus 2,000, it's not the same. It's not the only metric. You should couple it with others, but it's a good indication. Is this project part of CNCF or incubator? Because if so, great. You have a great affirmation that this project is good enough to use. Google this project alone to check for online presence, but also Google this project versus similar projects so you can check for reviews. Ease of use. Do a POC. See how it gets integrated in your environment. You found issues. Great. Raise them on GitHub and then see how long it takes for them to reply, to fix your problem. While you're at it, check the issues on GitHub and see, are they about the features or are they about how to do X? Because if they're about how to do X, it means that the project is not good enough in a ready enough state, probably, or not easy to use. So, community activity, commit rate, daily, monthly, weekly. What's the commit rate? How many issues are there? How many releases are there? All of these are intended to try to predict how long will it take for you to get bug fixes or releases to come out? Is the project maintained by one developer or more? Because if it's one developer, then again, it's a single point of failure, and you will probably need to wait a lot of time for stuff to come out. Documentation. Is documentation rich and covers most aspects, like how to integrate the project, known issues, explanation about the features. So documentation is the thing to have to understand the full extent of the project, so use it. Ecosystem. Are the users engaged on GitHub? Does the project have a dedicated community channel like Slack, Discord? The larger the community is, then the larger the possibilities are to get help and share your success stories. Readiness. Is the project declared as a production-ready project by the developers or by the users that are using this project? Are the current features that the project offers enough to sustain usage? Is my use case covered fully in the current state? And if not, am I okay with it? Because if not, maybe it's not the right time to use this project. Roadmap. So if the project goes towards monetization, for example, what happened with InfluxDB, then you know it will become closed source and you know what it means. Features planning. You know, check if it's a well-established idea that they know where they want to go to. If the features are planned, awesome, you know what's next. So you have a lot of metrics to look at. You have the metrics in general to understand if this project is good enough on its own, if it's fully baked or not. But you have the metrics that could help with your use case and your pain points. So you need to check if the open source covers them. So for example, if your use case is heavy, then you should focus on the documentation and the ecosystem size metrics. But if, for example, you don't have capacity for maintenance, then you should focus on readiness and ease of use metrics. So to sum things up, choosing the right open source project can be challenging, but to ease the decision, ask the general questions to cover the basics, ask the tailored specific questions to cover your use case and your pain points. Do a POC, see how it gets integrated in your environment, and rely on your research, because then you can reach out to the ecosystem for help, you can engage in GitHub, raise issues, contribute for the project success and eventually your success. Thank you.